Isa Pantanmi. Following the clampdown on Nigeria's Minister of Communication and the Digital Economy, Nigeria's presidency says it stands behind the embattled minister, who is currently facing calls for his resignation after extreme Islamist views he held in the past recently came to light. Isa Pantanmi, Minister of Communications and the Digital Economy, who is also a renowned Muslim cleric, expressed views sympathetic to groups such as al-Qaeda and Boko Haram. In one sermon from the 2000s, he said he considered al-Qaeda founder Osama bin Laden a better Muslim than himself. And in another, he said he was happy when infidels were massacred. Recordings of him expressing these views began circulating on social media a couple of weeks ago, which led to calls for his resignation or sacking by President Muhammadu Buhari. But in its first reaction since the saga began, presidential spokesman Garba Shehu said the minister was being subjected to a cancelled campaign. He said on public record that in the 2000s, the minister was a man in his 20s, and next year he will be 50. Time has passed and people and their opinions often rightly change. The minister also attempted to renounce his past views at the weekend, telling a local newspaper that some of the comments were based on his understanding of religious issues at the time, and that he had changed several positions based on new evidence and maturity. But that has not stopped calls for his sacking or resignation, with many using the Pantami Moscow hashtag on Twitter to express concerns over his access to sensitive data as the Minister of Communications. He has also received empathy by another faction defending him under the Pantami Moscow hashtag, as the issue exposed the religious and ethnic lines in this multi-ethnic country. But what exactly did the minister say? Recently, the internet has been flooded consistently with new evidence of the views Mr. Pantami held in the past. The most recent are documents that appeared online recently. The documents are allegedly from a 2010 meeting he chaired at the Jama'atul Nasr Islam, a top Islamic body, where a consensus was reached that Christians should be prohibited from building churches in city centers across northern Nigeria, which has a majority Muslim population, although millions of Christians native to that region also live there. There were also audio as well as visual recordings of Mr. Pantami's fiery prayers and sermons at different stages of his career as an imam. In one sermon, after there had been a deadly religious conflict and tensions were still high in Shindam, Plateau State, he volunteered to lead Muslims back to their homes, saying that he was willing to die in the process. More than 300 lives were lost and thousands were displaced in religious violence that occurred in Jos, Plateau State in 2009. In a 2006 speech, Mr. Pantami publicly offered his condolences after the death of al-Qaeda leader in Iraq, Abu Musab al-Zarqawi. In one audio clip where he recounts the Nigerian army's war against Boko Haram, he appears to be on the verge of tears as he passionately described the insurgents as our Muslim brothers who did not deserve to be killed like pigs. In another audio recording, he declares that he is always happy when infidels are massacred. He has not denied the authenticity of these text, audio, and video clips. But what did the government say? Nigerians had been waiting for a reaction from the government, and it came via a presidential spokesman on Thursday, April the 22nd. Garba Shehu, spokesman to the President Buhari, said the administration stands behind Minister Pantami, saying that the minister has, rightly, apologized for what he said in the early 2000s. The views were absolutely unacceptable then and would be equally unacceptable today, were he to repeat them, he said in a statement which he also shared on his Twitter account. But critics have pointed out that the minister was already in his 30s when most of his controversial statements were made, and so was fully aware of the ramifications. Why are these views just being revealed? It all started as a rumor when a local newspaper reported that Mr. Pantami had been placed on a US watch list for his alleged links to terrorism. There has been no confirmation from the US, and Mr. Pantami threatened to sue the newspaper and others that carried the reports, leading to a retraction and an apology. But since then, a series of audio and video clips of Mr. Pantami making inflammatory comments have been posted on social media. More details have been reported by Nigerian online newspaper People's Gazette. An old WikiLeaks document citing a US diplomatic cable of Mr. Pantami being thrown out of the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University in Bauchi State and from a mosque in Gombe for preaching inflammatory rhetoric have also been recirculated. Furthermore, an April deadline for Nigerians to register for the National Identification Number was moved to May. There was also social media posts about his time at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, where Mr. Pantami, as cleric of a local mosque, was accused of instigating the gruesome murder of a Christian student leader who preached on the campus. Mr. Pantami has denied these accusations and also said that he was never dismissed from the university. He told local newspaper Premium Times that people opposed to the introduction of a compulsory national identification number, which would be needed to get a mobile phone number, were the ones attacking him. Who is Isa Pantanmi? He is a 48-year-old Nigerian who is currently Nigeria's Minister of Communications and Digital Economy. He was formerly head of the Nigerian Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. He hails from Gombe State in northeastern Nigeria, where he began his education at the Quranic Zangaya schools, popularly known as Al-Majiri. He further obtained a PhD from Robert Gordon University in Scotland, but was also schooled in Saudi Arabia. He is also Chief Imam at the popular Al-Manar Mosque in Abuja, where he still leads annual teachings during the Ramadan fast. But why are some Nigerians so worried about Pantami? As head of the Communications Ministry, he oversees agencies responsible for databases of Nigerians and expatriates in the country. Some people have expressed concerns that a minister with past sympathy for Islamic militant groups has access to such critical data. As the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Mr. Pantami also oversees the web infrastructure for most government ministries and agencies, the armed forces, intelligence agencies, and Nigeria's satellite infrastructure that provides communications and navigation support for the Air Force. The backlash he is facing seems to be largely on social media.
Hi, thanks for watching this video. If you'd love to see other amazing stories like this one or the ones in the description link below, click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. For further information, you could send us an email at thepigstory@gmail.com, or you could visit our website at www.thepigstory.com. Follow us on all our social media platforms at The Pig Story.